Alright, welcome to this tutorial of how to mask in Photoshop. I'm using CS5. There are several ways to mask images, mask out parts of the image that you don't need. I usually like using the old standard traditional methods. It's what I've used and has always been served me well. So on this image we're going to be using the magnetic lasso tool, and you'll find that under the selection toolbox and magnetic lasso tool. This one works pretty good in some situations, not all situations, but on this particular image it'll work pretty good since there's a big contrast between the cute little penguin and the sky. The way I like to work is when you open your image and you have only a background, well, first you got to make this a layer before you can even mask it. So you can just double click on it, on a layer, and name it whatever you want. And then what I like to do is I like to make another layer, just make a new layer, and then you want to fill this layer with a color that is really different than any other color in your image. And this will serve a couple purposes. Once you fill that layer, you want to drag it underneath your original image, or at least the one that you're masking out. This way, when you mask out your image, you'll see the green underneath, so that way you'll see how clean of your edges are and how close to your image that you get that you're masking out. So once you finish this, just grab your magnetic lasso tool and start masking. What you want to do is you want to start kind of on the outside and just left click once, and you'll see that it started from the point that you click. Now you can just drag the mouse or your pen or whatever you're using to do this with. Kind of drag it close to the edge of the image that you're masking. This works pretty good for quick masking images as well. And if you have an image in different contrasts, like we're doing the penguin. Whoop, I accidentally clicked there. So we'll actually finish them from there. And when you want to turn a corner, you can simply left click once on the mouse. And once you reach your final stage, you can left click again, or you can double click. That'll work too. So we can always go back and so at this point, once you have something selected, you can go layer, layer mask. You can say hide selection, And there's our mask so far. We'll finish it real quick. Since I accidentally clicked before, let's do it real quick. Now at this point, since we already have our mask, you want to go over to your layer. Make sure your mask layer is selected, indicated by the little icon highlighted. Now on this, you want to go make sure that your foreground color is black, and the black will hide the image and the white will reveal the image. And the gray colors, it'll be like a faded color. Your image will be faded. So we'll actually fill it with gray, and I'll show you. So you can select your gray color, and go edit, and go fill. So now this way we're going to fill that part of the mask. See, now it's kind of faded. So we want to go with pure black. We'll go fill. And then at this point, you can go select, deselect, or Control D, or you can just grab your selection tool here, elliptical. Just click anywhere outside of the selection. So let's hurry up and mask these other parts. And if you notice, sometimes using the magnetic lasso tool doesn't exactly get it right on the spot. So we'll fill that. And just double click and make it a selection, and then fill. And these others, I will just take our little rectangle tool and go fill. That's right, we'll mask out that little bit of penguin there. And then at this point, if you got some little overhang like this, you can even grab your brush tool right here. Make sure you get a good size on your brush. You can even go smaller. And again, make sure you got your mask layer selected. Make sure your color is black. And then you can paint on your mask. This is a faded brush right here. You can grab one of your solid brushes right here, like this one. Just like that. Now if you notice why I made the green layer, it acts as a green screen. You can see your lines and your edges on the image. And you can see where if you messed up or you have parts of the image that are left that you need to mask out. You can use any color that you like for this background. As long as it shows something different than the image that you're masking, so you can see your edges. So now when you're done and your image looks good, you can go ahead and delete your background layer or your screen layer. And then once you do that, you can either save this with the mask, or you can say layer mask and then apply the mask. Depends on what you're doing with it. So now you got a happy little penguin. And you also want to watch out too when you mask. Sometimes there'll be a little bit of leftover at the bottom edges of the page or the side edges of the page. So you always want to check that every time too. Oh, that's it for this. Check out my other one. I also show you how to mask with the pen tool.